Patty, Jim, Preet, and Amanda are all at the table. So what is your golden rule for homeowners?
I think along with make sure that you've got the cash flow to afford whatever mortgage you take on, we need to rethink how we think of our house and not expect that it is going to be our retirement vehicle. It may be one, but prices don't always work for us. Demographics may work against us. I would say make sure that you're looking at the big picture and be sure you've got some other savings as well.
So how should you be looking at your home? Simply as a place for you and your family to live in, right? All right. Patty.
I think the important thing is to stress test your mortgage rate. So you've got a great deal, but it's not going to last forever. So make sure you can afford it, even if mortgage rates double. And I would say to young people getting into the market today, don't chase this market. I do think it's 10 to 15% overvalued. I think house prices will come down nationally by that amount over the next couple of years. So housing cycles come and go. Maybe you think this is the only one that you're ever going to chance to get into, but again, take your time.
Jim.
Make sure the house fits your real needs as a family. I mean, first and foremost, it is a place to live, to raise your kids, to go through life, and make sure it's well suited for that. Make sure you maintain it as an asset, so it's good for you and your family to live in, but also to sell someday, and you'll get more real value out of that than you will out of any RRSPs or mutual funds.
Yeah, it's a different world. You have to think about the margin of safety today. So when you walk into a bank and say you can afford $300,000 for a mortgage, that doesn't mean you should get a $300,000 mortgage. You want that buffer there. And I think what a lot of people are confused is living within your means with living at your means. They're two totally different things.
You know, one of the things I find most interesting of all the many interesting things you've all said is when you talk about a 10 to 15% correction as possible. That's not a crash. That's not.
No,
the
bubbles
market
crash.
Right.
Bubbles go down 30, 50%. So
Right.
I'm talking about letting a little air out of the tires. So there's general agreement that house prices are overvalued, but not excessively, 10 to 15%. So this is the soft landing, and it does happen. It's happening in Australia right now. House prices are down about 10% from their recent peak.
Although
So
there may be
it doesn't have to
pockets
be
in
a
our
crash.
market that are bubble.
True enough.
The condo market, certainly in Toronto, parts of the Vancouver market, I think you
I'm
could
talking
argue
nationally,
are, but
yeah.
nationally,
Yeah.
And what's the evidence on the condo market?
You know what? A real estate expert told me this just this week, which is that it's the investment purchasers. And when that dries up, when there's no bid on the condos from that buyer, you start to see the bottom emerge. And that has to happen. So the beginning of the end for condos in Toronto may be upon us. How quickly prices collapse now we see.
One gets scared when they look at the landscape of this city. Hundreds of cranes still out there, most of them working on condos, and you wonder where are they all coming from. All right, thank you all. Very good, as usual. Now, we know you have thoughts on this issue, and we'd love to hear them. You can reach us through cbcnews.ca/thenational.